Good morning, Randy. Paul Cundiff here with the Barracuda, the Dan Arena Craft Barracuda in the detail shop. So we got some grease on it and on the flooring and certain parts of the interior, and it's pretty tough to install an engine and everything else without making a little bit of a mess. So we did that, and we brought it into the detail shop, and we're not charging you for the detailing. But anyway, I wanted to show you. I know when we took your boat in, we showed you a couple of problems that with the finish. Nothing major, but your old boat trailer rubber had rubbed into the paint here. We were hoping that all it had done was just left a deposit of rubber, but it actually rubbed into this paint a little bit. I didn't attempt to buff it out. We got all the rubber off of it, but I didn't attempt to try to smooth that out for fear that we would get through the layer of paint. You also might recall this area right here that we pointed out when we first got it in. I think there's another one on the other side as well. It's not quite as bad, but that area didn't come out. We have your new through hull for your bilge pump up here, and as you can see, we've got it all cleaned up inside. Your dash is all done. The alarm that we added, supposedly one technical guy said we had two alarms. Well, we do. We have an alarm for temperature and an alarm for oil pressure, but they actuate the same buzzer. So when you have if your buzzer goes off, it could be high temperature or it could be oil pressure. Of course, your buzzer goes off when you first turn the key on. It goes off for a few seconds during the test mode. But so anyhow, you have one buzzer for both alarm situations. Anyway, so I wanted to show you how good it looks after we got all the grease off of it. And the other question that you had, and by the way, we got a shoe or something has scratched right here. We had moving blankets all over this thing to try to avoid scratching it, and we managed, without going back and looking at the videos that I sent as soon as we brought it in, I don't think that scratch was here. I'm not positive, but we're gonna see if we can't get that completely out. The buffer or the detailer was, he just didn't really want to try to get that out, but we'll try to buff that out for fear of going through the paint. Okay, so the other question you had was, gee, could we put a curb down here and set the engine hatch on top of the curb? And that was the exact idea that we had thought of doing. The engine hatch, though, when you put the engine hatch over the engine, it comes down about dead center of the exhaust riser and the end of the manifold. We considered turning the manifolds end for end, but then we really didn't have a route for getting the hoses. You know, we of course had 180 degree bend too, but we didn't really have a route for getting the hoses back to the outlet. So, so a modification to the engine hatch is going to be the least expensive option for this. I mean, we could have had these custom made, I suppose, but that's, they're like $5,000 a side. So that's why we did what we did. We did the best we could. And had hoped that it might fit, but of course, part of it is, the engine doesn't sit as low as we had hoped it would sit in order to line up with the output shaft. So, that's the story. The Y block, the Ford Y block is narrower, and with the side draft carburetors, it's shorter, and that allowed the engine box to be smaller, and is driving the size. Engine is driving the size of the engine box now. So, with all that information, we are ready to deliver. And I'll explain the delivery. Well, you probably read it already where I introduced this to you. The sales tax laws in the state of Kentucky are such that if we deliver, you don't have to pay sales tax. So we're planning on delivering. I have to come to Florence, Alabama. I got a little stuff didn't come off the windshield here. That's disappointing. But anyway, I have to go to Alabama either Thursday or Friday. I will be stopping in Florence, Alabama. So that's where my work is going to be occurring. If you'd like to pick it up in Florence, I think that would save you a lot of money versus coming all the way here. Plus, the sales tax laws are not conducive to you coming all the way here. So we'll get this windshield cleaned up too. All those windshield's going to be probably full of bugs by the time I get there. So anyway, here's the update. I think we're at the final stage, unless there's something else that you'd like us to do. And I'm still working on the Barracuda badge. I need to contact Dan Arena. I guess this would be the grandson or maybe the great-grandson. Still has some badges, or has a badge that we perhaps could copy. We can cast it. But at any rate, I got to get him to give that up to us and loan that to us for casting. All right, sir. Thank you very much.